Everybody, Scotty G here with Listen Up. Today I'm with John Hunter from REL Acoustics.
We've been together so long, dude.
God, I was just thinking about it today, man. You and I, 30 plus years.
31 years, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. Crazy.
You know, today was a mind-blowing experience for me. I've been doing this for a long time. A 6-pack of subwoofers just blew my mind. You know, what's up with that?
So this is something REL's been doing for about a decade, 13 years. And it came about because as I studied the way that actual natural sound sort of propagates, it never is along a floor. For subwoofers, which sit on a floor, it's great. It gives you nice, deep, really sort of core bass. But when you listen to events that happen in real life, if you hear a car crash, hope you don't, but if you do, there's a visceral effect if you're close to that thing. You hear it, you feel it. If you're at a concert and you've got that kick drum, beautifully mic'd outdoor festival sound kick drum, and it is going right through your chest. It's concussive. You can't fake that from down here. So when we were developing our first generation of reference products, the G1s, we built enough of them to be able to just test the concept. Oh my goodness, I don't think we got work done for about a week.
I could believe it.
We just got, no, I have to do work in the lab. Let me just bring another 12 CDs in. Because for the first time we were hearing vertical elevation to the soundstage. Yeah. And then what I realized was we talk about in stereo, we talk about three-dimensionality all the time. And most of us actually mistakenly think that that's the third dimension, right? We think of depth because it is sort of in a time-space continuum. But in audio, it's not. We've had left to right since about 1973 when they came out with little LS35As.
Oh yeah,
right?
awesome speaker.
And they actually had some depth. It wasn't very wide, kind of came together like that, but you had left to right, that's your first dimension, and you had front to back. So now we had two dimensions since 1973, right? What the 6-pack allows you to do is in a much more compact form. I mean, this comes up to about middle of my chest, and that's one of our sort of medium larger ones. It allows normal people with normal, good, really well integrated systems to open up and have not just bass, but all the space of a $400,000 or $500,000 system. To give you an idea, this is 6,000 watt amps. We actually limit them down to about 800 watts in this application. And 6 active carbon fiber speakers. They're all 12 inches. So now we've got 6 of these and 6 of these carbon flat piston passives on the bottom. So a huge amount of driven surface area. And it gives this raw, effortless quality to it, and it gives you that height. And when we do the demos, we just did this for these guys. So he's coming off of his 6-pack high. We will deconstruct it so that people understand. First of all, it's not about just playing loud boom, boom bass all the time. People see 6, it sort of brings out your Dodge Magnum, your inner Dodge Magnum. Right? Oh, I want the V10 in that truck, gosh. And it'll do that. It'll do it in its sleep.
For sure, yeah.
But there's a lot more subtlety to it. You know, the cuts at the end I think that were really interesting were those beautiful live jazz pieces.
Yeah,
4-piece jazz band at the Village Vanguard, delicate, open, and you could hear just texture and sexiness, and the whole vibe of the room came alive. And we took them out, and everything just kind of collapsed back down to being a stereo system.
It was freaky, the difference it made, especially that bass guitar piece at the end.
Oh, that's insane.
It was.
So really quickly, the structure of this is quite simple. In any 6-pack, the bottom one produces the deepest, most foundational bass. It's the structure of music, if you will. And it happens because the floor is essentially the mouth of a horn. It gives you this wonderful supportive surface to carry those long bass waves out. The middle one, if you can envision this, it's sitting out there in middle space, right? It's 21 inches from Mother Earth. What do we do here? It can't do deep bass. But what it really can do is great attack in mid bass. So things like a kick drum. Right? You're sitting there watching Liberty DeVito, and he comes around and hits a paradiddle and goes, boom! And if you're live in concert, you just feel this compression wave strike you. It's your sinuses, your chest cavity. That's what that gives you. That's not super deep bass, but it's great attack in the middle bass. And then the top guy,
That's the secret
I'm
sauce,
looking
man.
at, yeah, the top you get to, and you go, okay, there's no math that explains what's going on here. It's obviously like in the middle of the height of the room. Can't possibly be getting any floor reinforcement or even ceiling reinforcement. What is it doing? And we cross each of these over individually. This one is crossed over the highest, lets the most higher frequencies through, and it produces this delicate harmonic stuff that you dream of. It used to be that you drive home from a concert and you'd look at the person, you know, in the car and go, man, we got a lot of work to do. We're just not there. I don't do that anymore. We drive home and I put something on, it's like, oh my God, this is exactly what we can get when we go home. I have a 6-pack of little 510s. So let's talk about that. We make this 6-pack concept available in a number of different price points and sizes. This is sort of in the middle of it. So the least expensive is what I have in my own home. It's called an S510 6-pack. It's about 20% smaller than this. Roughly runs around $14,000 for the 6-pack. And it goes all the way up to the big number 32 6-pack, where there's these massive, oh shoot, I don't know, they're 220 pounds a piece or something. I think it's 650, 660 per side for a 6-pack. And those are up at 60,000. So there's a huge spread between these. Fair play if you go, $14,000 is not, you know, cat food. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, sure.
I would posit that this combination right here, this is a $20,000 Sonos Faber and a beautiful little speaker. Wow, very nicely balanced. So the combination that we're looking at here retails for about a little under $50,000, right? There is no $100,000 speaker available, commercially available, that can do what this little system can do. And it would be massive, right? In an attempt to create that kind of low bass, it's very difficult to get when you start placing speakers out in free air. So that's the benefit of subwoofers. Doing it from the subs means you get the room working for you everywhere it can. Sidewalls will help, floor will give you that reinforcement, and it produces bass that is just remarkably fast, taut, and extended.
Yeah, I've never experienced anything like it. It was just crazy how good it sounded.
Here's something that I didn't touch with on the team, but when you do this, a lot of us have systems that are combined, right? Who has the room to have, and some people do, God bless, I'm happy for them, but you know, a dedicated home theater with a projector and stadium seating, fabulous. If you do, I envy you, I will be you someday, right? But most of us have a system that has to do both. I want to listen to my music. Hey, the kids want to come in and watch a movie. Can we do that? Yes, we can. You know, you punch 3 buttons, somebody slip the Blu-ray in and we're good, and it transforms. That height of image you heard in 2-channel, where the image height is now about 8.5, 9 feet off the ground, that happens in movies too. So all of a sudden you hear, and I've done the full deconstruction. You're like, oh my gosh, we have sound all the way up and over the top of a 15-foot screen. And I'll deconstruct it a layer at a time. We take out the top layer and it drops to the middle of the screen. We take out the middle layer and it drops to the bottom of the screen. You go, that is not what I've been using. Yes, it is. That's what you've been listening to. No. So it's a revelation. It's a neat effect even for home theater. It's a great answer for the sort of can do it all anywhere, anytime. Whatever your music is, whatever your movie, doesn't matter. Any questions you had for me?
You know, so is it, how scalable is a system like this?
It's a great question. Yeah. Super scalable. The salesperson in North America who sells the most of these, this guy is probably getting pretty close to knocking on 100 6-packs, and he started in 2020. He has the belief that he's never heard a system that was not improved by a pair of RELs. He's just, I've done it all. I've been in this game for 35 years. I've never heard anything that does what RELs do for a system for not a lot of money. So he makes sure his customers buy a pair of the ones that can do it. He just goes, listen, you're going to want to do this. He's got 2 6-packs set up, and he tells me funny stories. There are instances where he'll get done with the demonstration carefully orchestrated for the stereo pair. Okay. And he goes, hey, listen, while I go write you up and start to get your units brought up here and things, I'm just going to turn on the 6-pack for you so you can enjoy what can happen later. So he turns those things on, he walks out, comes back in 5 minutes later with the invoice. He said, I get one of 2 reactions. One, I can't say on camera, but it has something to do with you, not nice person. I'm going to have to buy 4 more of these now, aren't I? Right? And the other one is the guy that just goes, if you take that black card back and stop annoying me, you can just run the 4 now. I have room in my pickup for all 4. Just do it. right? And they just get it because they hear everything that this can do. So it is completely scalable. If you have a pair, fantastic, you bought 2 great subs and you have a great system. What he does often is scale. So 6 months, 8 months later, when there's a little bit of free money in the budget, they come back and they buy their second pair. And now you've got 4. It's still not a 6-pack, but it will drive the heck out of a house. So in terms of just ability to create heft and drive, boom, 4 will get you there. And then a year later, they come back and they buy their final 2, and it all works. So it's not something where you have to be wealthy, you just have to drop 14 grand, and that's just the way it works. Do it 2 at a time. It's about $5,000 to start, and it goes from there. And who is the customer? You're with Listen Up, right? You have 42 years or something of history.
Yeah.
You must have 10 to 15,000 customers that have bought nice systems over the years that would benefit from having a pair and then can grow with it in time.
Makes sense. I even think the same thing for the guy that bought 1 sub. Now you add the second sub. I'm not sure where the concept of 1 sub ever originated from.
It had to be the old days. It was hard enough just to get somebody to take 1, right?
Yeah.
So there you go, though. It is friendly. It is scalable. It applies to, let me think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 models. As I said, ranging from about, I misspoke. It's actually less than 14,000. The HT1510 will do it, and that's about 12,000 for a 6-pack.
And all of them can be done as stereo subs.
Oh yeah, absolutely, all of them can be.
The whole line.
Yeah. So it just opens up a whole new sort of generation of people to what Uber sound could have been. Right. This is something that as you go around and look at the amazing Uber speakers that are out there, these things start at 200,000 and get expensive. And we're able to deliver that and honestly something more. But I will say this, the better your core speakers are, the more we can help them.
Yeah.
So you guys have sold tons of 800 series BMWs over the years. Great. It's a good, fast, coherent speaker. Bring us that speaker. We can help.
And really any speaker, regardless of price point, would benefit from the addition of subs.
Well, so let me expand the question a little bit, which is, do I have to have big speakers in a big room to do this? The answer is no. One of the neatest systems I ever built was in Bristol, England for a show. The room was 12 feet wide, 15 feet long, with a little entry and a corner bathroom back here, 12 by 15. And we did a 6-pack of the 510s, and Kef were kind enough to loan us their brand new Ref ones. It was a 6.5-inch two-way speaker about yay tall.
Stand mounted.
Stand mounted speaker.
Yeah, wow.
I mounted them as a really wide set. They were almost touching the sidewall. I had to drop the 510s inside, which isn't theoretically ideal, and I was praying that I wasn't going to somehow destroy the soundstage. It had no effect, no negative effect on the soundstage at all. Hit play, that cut that you heard at the end, the Dale Johnson, I had reviewers popping out of their chair. Just, oh my God, what am I hearing? This is fantastic. What is this? So it can be done. It doesn't have to be these big Herculean floor standers. If it's a good speaker that's really fast, they can go down to about, call it 50 hertz, which an awful lot of speakers can handle that. You can make that work really well. And again, just starts with a pair and then go from there.
For me, it was eye-opening what I heard today. And I would invite everyone to try to, do their best to get 2 subs, get a 6-pack where you can, and it'll change your life. Thank you very much, John.
Couldn't have said it better.